UNLV will now be home to a public policy institute. We'll tell you why this development is making national headlines.
Also, we sit down for a special interview with Professor Checko Salgado, who was recently awarded for going above and beyond for his students.
We'll have this for you and more when we come back to Studio G. Welcome to Studio G. It is Friday, March 3rd. I'm James Schaefer.
And I'm Albania Guido.
And in breaking news, former UNLV professor Mary Hausch was just awarded the Distinguished Nevadan Award at today's Board of Regents meeting. Congratulations to her. It is truly deserved. In other news, across the country, cities decorated their streets for Mardi Gras. Springs Preserve hosted their third annual Mardi Gras event, which celebrates Louisiana cuisine, music, and culture. Joselle De Los Reyes has more.
Having a sense of community is important to learn about togetherness and a great way to spend time with your fellow neighbors in the valley. Springs Preserve's Mardi Gras event is one of the many events it hosts for the community. Different art and cuisine was showcased for many locals to admire and take part in. Tom Bradley, stage manager of the event, coordinated the entertainment of the festival among other activities offered.
It's one of a number of events that we host here throughout the year, cultural events and things of that nature, and it's just our way of bringing a little bit of New Orleans and Louisiana Bayou to the heart of Las Vegas. And we just want to expose them to some of the fun things we have going on here. We have live music, we have food, we have some frosty adult beverages as well. We have what we call our kids quarter. There are games where kids can play. We have little hula hoops over here too as well.
Springs Preserve houses historical treasures and unique wildlife and plant life. Tom Bradley hopes for the Las Vegas community to enjoy what it has to offer.
Basically, the Springs Preserve, it's a 180-acre facility, and this is essentially the birthplace of Las Vegas. So there's always something going on here and always something to see. You know, we want people to come out here, have a good time, learn a little something while they're here, maybe learn a little bit about a different culture while they're here too. Particularly in our events like the Ohana Festival and the Asian Heritage Celebration and Dia de Muertos. So you can come out here and get an idea, and Black History Month, and so you get an idea of what those different cultures are like, what they've contributed to this community as a whole, because we're all together here. So that's kind of what we're hoping to do with these events.
The Louisiana culture has definitely been celebrated today in Las Vegas. For Studio G, I'm Joselle De Los Reyes.
Be on the lookout for more of the Springs Preserve special events, such as their annual 5K Cirque du Soleil run coming up on March 11th. Or check out their website to take a look at their exhibits.
Like most people, I'm sure you check your social media every day.
Oh, yeah.
But have you ever thought about why you post the things that you do? Graduate assistant Jocelyn Apodaca is currently focusing her research project on how college students use Instagram.
Is the person who's portraying their true self online happy with themselves? And if so, what are they motivated by?
Jocelyn says she came up with the idea by questioning the reasons why her friends posted certain pictures on Instagram.
We've seen that not only are women the major users of Instagram, they're more likely to show their true selves online as well. And so one of our hypotheses states that young women ages 18 to 29 are more likely to post their true selves online, or have higher life satisfaction scores, or happier and post more often than males do, and are also motivated for different reasons. So a couple of those motivations are to connect with friends and family, for entertainment reasons, for escapism.
JMS students were invited to participate in the study by completing a 5-minute survey. Some professors even granted students extra credit for their participation. Jocelyn's project is set to wrap up on April 1st. We wish her the best of luck and can't wait to hear the results.
If you are interested in trying out a new sport or just looking to relieve some stress, boxing may be worth checking out. Jessica Vargas visits the UNLV boxing gym to see what it's all about.
UNLV's boxing gym is one of the many hidden gems that this campus has to offer. The gym provides students the opportunity to get involved in the sport, whether it is a hobby or if one chooses to pursue their boxing aspirations.
Coach Brown is a graduate from UNLV and is now the head coach, training fighters for their next competitions.
Yeah, we start at 4, and we have a regimen we do every day, and we go right into technique and sparring and running and conditioning, and that starts at 4 o'clock every day. We usually get done about 6:30, sometimes 7 o'clock at night.
They provide boxing equipment such as hand wraps, gloves, sparring gear, as well as heavy bags and a boxing ring.
I feel more safe, like in any circumstance or situation, and just working out gets all my anger and frustrations out.
Students can work on skills involving striking, as well as positioning, physical condition, and strength training. Coach Joy Brown offered to show us a few boxing techniques.
Turn your shoulders over, right. Begin. Jab, jab, right. Good. Again. Pop, pop, bang, bang, bang. One more time. Pop, pop, bang, bang, bang. And time. Very good.
If you want to join the boxing gym at UNLV, it's definitely something that I would recommend, especially the female population.
The gym has seen many fluctuations in its success and participation rate, but it is hoping to gain more attention from those interested in the sport of boxing.
If anybody's interested in boxing, just come down and peek in. We leave the door closed, but that's just to keep the heat in. So anybody's welcome to come down, check it out, and try out.
This program has endured a couple of tough rounds, but is still very much in this fight. For Studio G, I'm Jessica Vargas. Now watch me hit the southern hit combo.
Jeez Louise. If you're interested in joining, the gym is located in the MPE building next to the gym. So what do you think about that, Albania?
You know, I think that gym is a real hit.
Wow, okay, I'll tell you what, your puns, a real knockout, if I do say so myself.
Don't go away. When we come back, we will see how your weather is looking for the rest of the country and what is going on around the country.
This is a nutrition center. Anyone from the Las Vegas community is welcome. We can get more people into the nutrition center, get them more educated, then they can learn what ways to prevent chronic diseases and to become healthier individuals. All classes are held in BHS building, Bigelow Health Sciences, room 212, and the times vary, but you could always check them at the UNLV calendar or UNLV Today, and all the classes, times, and descriptions are available there.
My goal is to be an on-air personality, and that's what my career is. It feels really incredible because I've been wanting to do something like this for my whole entire life since I was little.
I mean, it's an opportunity to express myself, get my voice out in public, and get heard for things that I feel strongly about.
This station helped me out a lot, gave me a lot of information I didn't know about a radio station in general.
It was really easy to get a show here. I took the classes and did the shadowing. They give you a lot of freedom to do what you like, and I feel like there's a lot of support in places you can get answers to.
It's just an incredible experience because I could take what I learned here and I could turn it into something more.
It's the last week before midterms, which means spring break is almost here. Let's start this week's Rebel Roundup. I can't see. If you still need something to do on your spring break, you may want to try an alternative break trip. These student-led trips typically last a week. Explore a different community and learn about social justice issues through service alongside communities. These trips are subsidized by the universities to be affordable to students. The deadline to apply is March 10th. The man who inspired the Matt Damon major motion picture The Informant will be speaking to students on March 9th in the Philip Cohen Theater at the Student Union. Dr. Mark Whitaker, a high-ranking whistleblower, was responsible for uncovering the Archer Daniels Midland price-fixing scandal. Finally, a workshop we can all benefit from. If you're like almost every other student on campus, you procrastinate. But that's okay, because on March 13th, the Academic Success Coaching staff invites students to attend the I Procrastinate, Counteracting the Urge to Delay workshop. It starts at 2:30 at the Student Services Complex, Building A. Don't forget to set at least 3 alarms to remind yourself. The College of Fine Arts Hall of Fame at UNLV was founded in 2003 and honors past and present residents who have made a significant impact in visual arts. Don't miss this important event on March 7th in the Student Union from 5:30 to 8:45 p.m. That's it for your Rebel Roundup. James, what's going on around the country?
Well, let me tell you, Albania. Millennials, before we get to millennials, a stunning announcement we want to start with first in our national news. Attorney General Jeff Sessions recused himself from any investigation related to connections between Russia and President Donald Trump's 2016 presidential campaign. This comes after it was revealed that he failed to disclose 2 pre-election meetings with Russia's ambassador. This was during a time they were being investigated for interfering with the presidential race. Democrats are now demanding the Attorney General's resignation. In other news, millennials, here's one Snapchat story you can't rewatch. You may want to be thinking about investing in your Snaps and Snaps Incorporated. The parent company of Snapchat is now worth $28 billion. That's B with a B. Billion with a B, rather. The company had its stock market debut yesterday and surprised everyone by closing at the grand total of $24.48 per share. Today, its founders are both multi-billionaires before the age of 30. Well, Backstreet's back. Last night, the popular group sent a crowd of 4,600 into 90s nostalgia last night. The group had their first performance in Las Vegas, and it did not disappoint. The band spent 8 weeks of dance prep and voice training to prepare for the 20-song set. The Backstreet Boys, quote, larger-than-life show, end quote, will run for 17 more performances through July 1st. Thanks to an artist's rendering here from campus, we can now see what a prehistoric creature looks like. There you have it. This prehistoric find may be the state's oldest in history. Ancient animal tracks were discovered in a slab of sandstone by a hiker in the Gold Butte area. The creature left behind 12 fossilized footsteps. Former President Barack Obama recognized the area is now designated as a national monument. In other news, Senator Catherine Cortez Masto co-signed a letter to Attorney General Jeff Sessions urging the new White House not to crack down on legal weed. Cortez Masto was among 12 senators asking the Department of Justice to uphold the Obama administration's policy. This allows individual states to determine their own weed laws. This comes less than a week after Press Secretary Sean Spicer urged for greater enforcement of marijuana. And lastly, newly released dash cam footage from Georgia shows the moment when Georgia 18-year-old Nicholas Dixma was killed by deputies who deployed stun guns on him. The disturbing video shows officers using a taser in order to handcuff Dixma and pinned him to the ground with the weight of their bodies. The officers did not stop applying pressure to his airway until Dixma lost consciousness. No attempts were made to resuscitate him until minutes later when an ambulance arrived, but by then, it was too late. Dixma's family is seeking a jury trial and damages in an amount to be determined. That wraps up your national headlines. Jamie, how's it looking for weather?
Thanks, James. Welcome back. My name's Jamie Poole, and I have your weather forecast for today. It looks like it's going to be a beautiful day, mostly sunny. We have a high of 70 with a low of 48, so maybe a little bit chilly later. Let's take a look at our picture of the day. We got this photo from the San Diego Tribune. It looks like the San Diego area will be experiencing a change from unseasonably high to unseasonably cold weather, and they might be experiencing some fog as well. Let's get back to our forecast for the upcoming weekend. All right, it looks like we are going to be mostly sunny, beautiful weekend, a little bit breezy on Sunday. Looks like the lowest we'll get is 43 on Tuesday. It might be a little bit chilly, but as for the most part, it looks like it's going to be a beautiful weekend. All right, let's take a look at the rest of the valley. We are in the mid-60s, not too bad. It looks like Centennial is going to be the lowest at 60 degrees. Southern Highlands is at the highest with 66. Other than that, we're staying around all right in the 60s. All right, now let's take a look at Today at UNLV, it looks like we're going to be having a high of 66. We have a wind speed of 9 miles per hour. Not too bad. Like I said, it's going to be nice and beautiful, beautiful clear skies. As for tonight, it looks like we're going to be a little bit chilly at 49 degrees and get a little bit of clouds in at night. No rain or anything, so that'll be great. All right, for the rest of the weather, in the national news, it looks like we are going to be nice and sunny on the East Coast, as well as some beautiful weather in the Florida area. San Francisco and Los Angeles are going to be staying nice and sunny, a little bit cloudy there, like I said, in the San Diego area. All right, that's all that I have for your weather today. We're going to take a short break, and then we'll be right back with an interview from Malika.
Nutrition Center. Anyone from the Las Vegas community is welcome. We can get more people into the nutrition center, get them more educated, then they can learn what ways to prevent chronic diseases and to become healthier individuals. All classes are held in BHS building, Bigelow Health Sciences, room 212, and the times vary, but you could always check them at the UNLV calendar or UNLV Today, and all the classes, times, and descriptions are available there.
Miles Low. It's your girl, Scribe Cash.
My name's Fabian Stefan, Perpetual Player One.
And I'm your host, Brandy the Prince Madison.
My name is Haley Rogers.
From the Miles Low Midweek Show. The Scribe Cash Radio Show.
You can listen to Pixel Jam. Press start to play.
And this is the Takeover.
Rock on Rebel.
On KUNV HD2.
From the RebelHD2.com.
Welcome back. UNLV will now be home to a new public policy institute. What does this mean for our college? James Schaefer was there at the Board of Regents meeting to tell us more.
It is in this very building that the Board of Regents is voting on a new public policy institute designed by former Speaker of the House John Boehner and former Senator of Nevada Harry Reid to the tune of $950,000. The Regents met at the North Las Vegas Cheyenne CSN campus, and within the confines of the rooms, the Regents discussed education policy and the future of the comprehensive plan for Nevada. But it was down the hall that the Academic Research and Student Affairs Committee decided on the new Public Policy Institute. The chair of the committee at the time, Regent Lieberman, discussed the new institute with Studio G.
The institute is really not defined yet. It is a work in progress, but it is significant that it is a four-way partnership, if not more, between UNLV, MGM, and two outstanding political and legislative former leaders.
The plan, as outlined by the press release given, was that the two politicians will work with the funding from MGM Resorts for the first 2 to 3 years with $950,000 in funds. Regent Carol Del Carlo touched on her opinion of the bipartisan effort for UNLV.
I think it's going to be special because I didn't see those two as being very congenial in their roles in Congress. I was not aware that they had such a close personal friendship. That's come out in the press release and the meeting material that we had, and I'm going to follow this closely. I can assure you that we learn how to get along again.
As the meetings wrapped up, Regent Carlo ended on the hopefulness of the Institute for Students.
That's what school's all about, is academics. So this is really the meat and potatoes, I think, of why we're here as a Board of Regents.
James Schaefer, Studio G.
Dean Robert Ulmer will be here in our studio on Tuesday for a live interview to discuss the future of the college. So don't miss that. And right now I am sitting here with photography professor Checko Salgado, who was just recently awarded the Outstanding Teacher by Part-Time Faculty Award for the entire College of the Fine Arts at UNLV. Welcome to the show, Checko. How are you doing today?
I appreciate you having me on. It's
yeah,
awesome.
Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you.
Can you tell us a little bit more about what you teach?
I teach photography, and I bring in more of a commercial aspect or lighting aspect to the department. Of course, we're a fine art department, but being out as a photographer, I've also learned skills in the business world that I bring in and show the students as well. So I'll get them ready to be out there to work, but also bring in their passions and so know that they can use their passions to create business.
That sounds very wonderful and informative. How long have you been a professor?
I've been teaching here for 8 years.
Wow, that's amazing. What a milestone.
Yes, it's been a while.
So you are the top-rated professor on Rate My Professor. That's pretty big, and you just won this Outstanding Teacher Award. What is it that you do that makes your students so passionate? I'm
real with the students, and that's the thing, is you have to be real. And I bring in my knowledge from the streets and bring it out to them and show them what's happening. I'm a photographer by trade, so I'm out there working. And that's the big thing, is I'm not a book-learned photographer. I'm actually been applying my practice actually to the class. So all the screw-ups that happen in the real world, I bring them to the class and show them and say, hey, look, this is what I did. Be careful, this is what happens. And I try to train people to be really nice, because in this industry, there's a lot of people that have bad attitudes, and I don't want to convey that.
What's the biggest piece of advice that you give to your students?
Be passionate, be loving, bring your heart into it, because a lot of times there's technical sense that happens, and the thing is that even though a photographer might be a really good photographer, their social skills are horrible, and that's what they need to work on. And be nice to people, because it always opens up. And as always, as what I've done in the past, is that you want to bring in, once again, your passions and help others. There's other people out there that need that help. And that's why, as a photographer, it's been great, because I can travel through all these venues, cross party lines, go across the country, do different talks, and be able to communicate with them and say, hey, listen, we're all one as a nation. We're all one as people. Let's work with each other, and let's help each other out.
So, and I understand that you were a student pursuing a degree while you were also teaching simultaneously.
Yes.
Did that affect your teaching style in any way?
I mean, it was really weird, because I'd go to a class and then there's my students that I would see like in the next hour. So I was like, hey, did you get the notes for this? And then they're like, what are you talking about? I was like, oh yeah, I was back there with you writing the notes. It was a strange process. It's been crazy. I highly recommend that if you're in school, just stick with it. Because the thing is, it's tougher when you get out there. I've learned that lesson. And even though I was working professionally and doing all these things, when I went back to school later, I was like, oh my God, I remember going back to school when I went to school at UNR, I was like, oh, I should have applied myself there. And it's a crazy time. But the thing is, stay in school, find your passion. Even if it's a few classes here and there, just stay, keep with the forum, and then just try to finish school. That's the biggest thing that I push.
Yeah, just try to finish school
Finish
on
it.
time.
Yes,
Just don't take breaks.
Don't take breaks. Just get it over with, because it's going to help you in the long run.
No, that sounds like a good piece of advice. I have some friends that are kind of in the same boat, that they wish they would have just kind of stayed with it.
Oh yeah, well, and that's the problem too, is because, I mean, you can go right down the street and make lots of money serving, being a busboy, as a bartender, but then later on in life, you're like, man, I'm 80 years old and I'm still tending bar and I'm still doing this, and like I never pursued my passions. And that's the biggest thing too, is pursue your passion. Bring your heart into it, and then your heart will open up, and the paths will open up.
Well, that sounds like a great piece of advice for all of us students. How much longer do you hope to keep teaching?
I pretty much until, I pretty much step in the grave, I think. You're always learning and teaching at the same time. I'm still learning. I learn from my students. They might be 16, 17 years old, but I learn from them. I was like, oh, that's a different approach. You have to take that in, and I think that's another thing for being an instructor, is that I listen to them. I don't just sit on my soapbox and like, hey, this is what we got to do. Of course, I do that direction, but I also like to listen. I have that interaction, because the way I look at it is they're my clients. They're paying me to teach them. So that's what you have to. I think that's one of the aspects from me going to school, is I had professors that were just, you couldn't approach them, you couldn't talk to them, and it's like, well, I don't want to pursue this class. There's nothing for me to be involved in here. What do I have to do here? So you just kind of walk away, and I don't like that. I think you work as a community, and as I always point out, every class that I have is a tribe. Everybody that comes to the table has something to offer, and that's how we work together. We're not here to snub each other, we're here to benefit.
So yeah, kind of working in a group to learn from each other is what you
Exactly, yeah, definitely, and have those communication skills, because that's a big deal.
What are some of your goals for the future moving forward?
Well, I'm working with CCSD right now, and I went to Valley High School this morning. They're going to be setting up some art exhibitions. So I went over there and gave some consultation on them how to go through the process and things to look out for, things that have happened to me. For me, I mean, if it was unlimited budget, I'd like to have some type of gallery space where I can show different work. We are limited on gallery space here in the city. There's a lot of artists in this town that need the recognition. Congratulations to the Barrick Museum for becoming the Museum of Art, which happened yesterday. So we have all these things on campus, but when you go outside in the city, you don't really see a lot. I mean, there is a few, I'm not denoting any of the galleries, but I think our art scene could be stronger. There's a lot of talent in this city.
Absolutely. Well, that's something that should definitely be promoted. So I see that you have some headshots that you'll be doing.
Yes, can I show that?
Or? Yes, of course.
All right, it's kind of glossy, but I'm doing free headshots, our classes, so it'll be 3 different classes. They're executive headshots, they're not just some cheesy ones off your phone. We have studio lighting, it's really a professional scene. So it's this Monday and Tuesday. I have 2 different times, so Monday pretty much from 3 to 8, and then Tuesday 6 to 8. And that's the thing, is the students, they learn to interact with people, they're meeting people they've never seen before, and treating them right. Not being a used car salesman, but at the same time being passionate and opening up to people. And it really opens up people, makes them smile, makes them happy, and they walk away with some really nice photos.
Oh, that sounds wonderful. Yeah, be sure to check that out, Rebels. And thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to join us.
I appreciate that. Thank you so much.
So, yeah, this is all the time we have for today. Stay tuned, and when we come back, we will meet a theater student that is breaking barriers and see how UNLV Boys and Girls Club is making a difference in their community.
Get to do an internship, you have to do an internship. It's one of the requirements for a journalism major. You have to do an internship before you can graduate.
Definitely having an internship as a requirement really helps push yourself out there and to just remind you that your graduation is coming up soon. You're going to have to need some work experience in your career. So it's really good to put yourself out there early on, and they tend to help students a lot more. So when you do a student internship, it really helps out a lot.
Welcome back to the show. The UNLV Boys and Girls Club is doing some amazing things for kids in our community. Yuri Andrushuk has more on this.
The Boys and Girls Club at UNLV has been essential in helping to provide education for children in the area, along with serving as a safe haven for children seeking to feel a sense of comfort and love. The club provides an art room, teen center, a kids' lunchroom, and outdoor activities such as soccer, along with a myriad of educational activities for the children. The club also features posters in the building that provide quotes of motivational support for the children. Adam Jimenez, director at the Boys and Girls Club, spoke on the mission of the organization, along with the special trip to Chicago that the children are making.
We have a variety of activities the kids participate in, but what we like to focus on is academic success, healthy lifestyles, and character and leadership. Every single day, we have our academic program called Power Hour, where the kids come in, the club shuts down, and the kids either do their homework or they do something educational every single day. We are sending 30 kids to Chicago, Illinois for a leadership conference. It falls under the umbrella of the Keystone, which is our premier program for our teens. Where they go, they learn leadership skills to take on, which they could actually take back to Southern Nevada and actually help out their clubs. The mission of the Boys and Girls Clubs is to empower and enable all children, especially those who need us most, to realize their full potential as productive and caring citizens.
Marco Moraz, the Youth of the Year of Southern Nevada, spoke on how he enjoys impacting the lives of the children that he works with.
So I started my freshman year. The only way I just got involved was my mom just decided to sign us up, and ever since then, things just took off. They were doing a lot for me, and I enjoyed my time there, so I just kept coming back, and things just got better.
The Boys and Girls Club continues to bring smiles to parents and children in the Las Vegas area. For Studio G, I'm Yuri Andrushuk.
And quick correction of that story, that is Yuri Andreashuk, not what I said prior. But what do you think about that? Pretty great about Boys and Girls Club, right?
I think it's amazing what they're doing for those kids, yeah.
I think when it comes to those students, they're just not really kidding with what they're doing, right? Is that good? Like
yeah,
that?
It's not child's play what they're doing for them.
Oh, there you go, there you go. Well, that's all for our show today. We'll see you back next week here at Studio G.